I've been writing all of my thoughts down for years about what's been going on in this country, but I haven't made the time to say it out loud. And today I actually had the thought that maybe I should never do that because what if what happened to Charlie Kirk were to happen to me, to my kids? Their terrorism actually almost worked until I thought about how fucking brave that man was. Most of us post COVID won't even go into a social setting we're invited to without overwhelming anxiety. This man went into environments every day where he was openly unwelcome, hated, even threatened. But he went anyway to talk, to open the floor for discussion. You may not like him and you don't have to agree with anything he ever said, but that man was fucking brave. As devastating as this is for his absolutely adoring wife and their small children, what he gave his life to do is so much bigger than himself. The worst part about him getting shot today is what it says about the culture of our country. The woke movement has used social isolation, social media, and university indoctrination to radicalize an entire generation. Against free speech, against freedom of religion without persecution, against freedom of assembly, against the right to bear arms, against women's rights, against racial equality. These kids are radicalized to believe that they have the right and responsibility to enforce cruel and unusual punishment, not with a court of law, but in accordance to how their feelings are being triggered. They shot him in the throat. And maybe that was just shitty marksmanship, but it couldn't have been more fitting if it was on purpose, because they want to silence him. I don't agree with him about abortion or religion or Palestine and a lot of other topics, but that was the entire point. It doesn't matter if you agree with him. The entire point of everything he did was to have conversations with people whose ideas were different from his. His entire life was fostering open discussion and debate with people who have a variety of opinions. I may not agree with all of his ideas, but he was never hateful or violent. He defended his ideas and gave other people a public platform to do the same thing. He questioned instead of submitting to mob mentality. He questioned the logic behind people's moral beliefs. And for all the people who called him names and hated his ideas and tried to chase him off campuses, are the same people who cry for safe spaces. But schools aren't supposed to be safe spaces. They're supposed to challenge your ideas, so you either find solid foundation for your beliefs or dispose of those that you find weak and failing. School is where you're supposed to learn critical thinking, not indoctrination. So who benefits from silencing discussions between people with different ideas? The people will never benefit from silencing discourse. That's the entire reason we vote, the reason we debate, the reason that freedom of speech is protected in the Bill of Rights. Conversation ending is the most dangerous thing that could ever happen to our society. So who does win? The corrupt political institution benefits when you shut people up. And scaring people into silence is one step closer to corporate tyranny winning. When extremists in our own nation are fighting and killing to end the freedoms guaranteed to us in the Constitution that is supposed to safeguard our rights. Those of us that are still sane need to start fighting back. Free speech matters. Freedom of religion without persecution matters. Peaceful assembly and open discourse matter. The right to bear arms to protect ourselves against anyone who would ever invade and against the tyranny of our own government matters. Women's rights and protections matter. Equality for all people, regardless of race or religion, matters. Protecting America against terrorists like the shooter today, that really fucking matters. Fox News will talk about BLM the same way CNN talks about the KKK. They literally studied it. Same words, different acronyms. Democrats versus Republicans, blacks versus whites, alphabet mob versus whatever they've decided to call everyone else this week. Get your head out of your ass. Division is distraction. Nobody wins but the rich that pull a bunch of bullshit we don't notice because we're too busy fighting each other. It should not be about right or left. It needs to be about right and wrong. We're allowed to have different opinions, but our fundamental rights should never be under threat, especially not by each other. That's how we all keep losing. Forever.